Every now and then, the gods sit upon their gilded thrones in Elysium, reach out and place their mighty hands upon a recording studio, usually somewhere in England, and deem that this album is going to be great. This album is going to be magnificent. This album is going to be one of the best albums ever. The Sneaker Pimps formed in Hartlepool, England in 1994. The group was founded by electronic musician Liam Howe and guitarist Chris Corner. They later brought in Kelly Alley as the lead vocalist, Dave Westlake on drums, and Joe Wilson on bass. The original pair were some of the originators of trip-hop. After their formation in '94, they recruited Kelly Alley and were signed to Virgin Records. They worked for several years to develop their sound and create the tracks which would be released on Becoming X in 1996. This album is epic and is the archetype of a new kind of sound. It sold over 1 million copies, and the band toured on the album for 2 years alongside acts like Aphex Twin. Unfortunately, the tour put a heavy strain on the relationships within the band, and founding members Liam Howe and Chris Corner made the extremely bad decision of replacing vocalist Kelly Alley with Chris Corner on vocals. This was effectively the death knell for the band, as after Alley was fired, they were never able to recover their initial glory. Sadly, another great act destroyed by creative differences. After Alley left, Virgin Records dropped the band, and their second album, Splinter, was released on Cleanup Records in '99. The band then went on to release a number of other albums, none of which even remotely approached Becoming X in terms of quality or impact. So despite the fact that they only actually released one groundbreaking album, it was so good that it really did break the mold and create a new type of sound. Becoming X is one of those special albums that just stands out from the crowd. When you hear it, it's distinctive. It has its own melancholic flavour, with a sleek production and excellent sound choices. The melodies and atmosphere created by the combination of instrument and voice make this album levitate off the turntable. It resonates in a way that few other trip-hop artists of the time were able to. The album opens with the track Low Place Like Home, a track featuring one of the best lines in any album from 1996, as the subject of the song is encouraged to crucify yourself. Crucify yourself. An evocative piece of imagery. The track features a really nice jangly guitar part with bite. The chorus comes in with hard guitars, which is a simple G-sharp major to C5 progression. It's the percussion that really makes this track, with super crisp drums and some really interesting percussive metallic style synth patches. Track 2, Tesco's Suicide, features an almost Egyptian-style synth line, probably using the Phrygian scale, coming in over top of a tight drum beat and harmonics played on the guitar. The main verse announces itself with a distorted guitar riff played on single strings. The song features some great lyrics in the verses, such as "Phone me and I'll hang up. Sick and tired of being bubblegum chewed up. Dark lane, bleak house, shrinking rose. You're over. and verse 2.
Cut your hair, wear a chip on your shoulder. Get ahead, get laid, get it over. Cheap show, backseat, modest pose. You're over and out.
The third track, 6 Underground, is one of their big hits. The song was used in the 1997 film The Saint and got decent radio play. The single peaked at number 9 on the UK singles chart and at number 7 on the Billboard Modern Rock Tracks chart. It features a very prominent sample from the 1964 film Goldfinger. You know, the famous scene where James Bond discovers Jill Masterton covered in gold paint. It also has a sample from De La Soul's Break of Dawn. Chris Corner wrote the song about growing up in a small town and yearning to get out, something I can personally relate to. He said, a lot of artists, we just can't survive in a place like that. So the essence of the song is that living in a small town is like dying. To be honest, musically, the Goldfinger sample does a lot of work in this song. The chorus of the song has a great lyric.
Don't think 'cause I understand. I care. Don't think 'cause I'm talking. We're friends.
The fourth track is the title track, Becoming X. It has a fantastic syncopated drum beat which sets the whole tone for the song. There's a dissonant, almost haunting quality to the track. Ali's vocals create this breathy nursery rhyme of disappearing. Check out the lyrics from verse 2.
If I just stay here, close my eyes, can you still see me? Obsolete, very nearly something to see me. I can't wake up to sleeping, incomplete, very nearly something to me, still see me. There's a punishment needed, obsolete.
The combination of synth sounds and piano on this track is inspiring, and I think that's actually the strength of this whole album. The sound choices are perfect. The song crescendos into a vocal climax of ahs. Track number 5 is their most successful track, Spin Spin Sugar. Reached number 1 on the UK dance charts and number 2 on the Canadian and US dance charts. It features a powerful driving drum beat with some gorgeous synths and a fairly classic style bass sitting underneath.
Call on me, spin, spin, sugar. Crawl on me, spin, spin, sugar.
It's a track that's packed with hooks. The album takes a bit of a turn with track number 6, Postmodern Sleaze. It feels a bit more like a classic track, but has a dark, brooding quality which makes it fit in well with the rest of the album. The track combines slow rock style drums, guitars, synths, and some nice strings.
She paints her toenails red.
Track number 7 is Water Baby, which has a very different feel. As it starts in, it's just vocals and guitar with a pad underneath. Drums start in a little later, but it's really nothing more than a hi-hat. The song has a kind of sparse feel which lends to the drama of the track, epitomized by this lyric.
I wash the streets from your skin. again when you come home.
Roll On is the 8th track on the album. It's a bit more of a straightforward 90s rock track and reminds me an awful lot of some of the songs from Left of the Middle by Natalie Imbruglia. I think it's the vocal chops that Ali uses. Interestingly, Howe and Corner would go on to write and produce for Natalie. The chorus takes on a bit more of a Sneaker Pimpsy type vibe. Track number 9, Wasted Early Sunday Morning, is a groovy track with a tight drum beat, acoustic guitars, and what sounds a little bit like a Wurlitzer or maybe a Rhodes synthesizer. When Ali sings the main vocal hook, the song takes on a life of its own. During the coda, when the line is echoed, there is a magnificent resolution. The 10th track on the album is Walking Zero. It's a great little ditty with an excellent acoustic guitar bridge and some fantastic lyrics. Like verse 2 for example.
Compromise in full extreme, cut off my heels, name a price on what's sacred, guaranteed I've got something, a royal disease, take a flood to clean these streets.
The last track is How Do, which is a weird twist of a song, coming out almost like a folk song with a vibrating pad accompanied by an acoustic guitar. It manages to finish the album with an upbeat feel after what is a very downbeat and cynical presentation. It's not the best of the tracks, but it does show the Sneaker Pimps' willingness to experiment and try new things. So that's it, Becoming X. An album that came like a lightning storm. It hit the world with a thunderous roar and then disappeared as quickly as you can say creative differences. But it's an album that stands the test of time. 26 years later, and these tracks still sizzle. And that's what makes Becoming X one of the best albums ever. Thanks for watching. Please do remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you can pick up the next time I release something awesome.